Hi friends, this is Sarah from Crafting and Relaxing. Welcome. Today I'm taking you to Scrap PDX. This is a creative reuse store in Portland, Oregon, and I'll link in the description to other videos I've made there and also information about the store. There are several of them across the US connected to Scrap, and they're also available and hiding out in other areas. I went to a similar place in Spokane, Washington. Cute little place, amazing. I would definitely recommend that one. Look at all these Stampin' Up! Stamp sets. They were either priced at $2.50 or $5. I'm not really sure what the system was, but there were just tons of them. I almost got some with butterflies, but I resisted the urge. And there were some other star ones. I think I pulled it out and it's sitting on the top that I took a hard look at. I don't need any stamps, and my friend Noni has a lot of Stampin' Up! Sets, but it's always fun to look. Then I showed you the punches because this Martha Stewart butterfly punch tempted me. I have butterfly punches, and I thought $7, I probably don't need it. But those Martha Stewart punches, they're easier on your hands than most of them. Some of them are just hard on your hands, take a lot of hand strength. Then I was curious about these packages of brads and ribbons, maybe because I have these items on my mind from Smash Our Stash. And also there were star-shaped brads in this package, so I liked that. This is just like a thrift store you would go to, but it's only arts and crafts supplies. So you never really know what you're going to find. A bin of washi tape, $2, maybe not the best price ever. Keep in mind that the people who are pricing this, they aren't necessarily paper crafters. This is one of my favorite areas in the store. It is bins of whatever. So bins of plastic cards, you can buy a stack of them. Stamps. I love the stamp bin. And maybe the price is higher than it was. I don't know, but I still love the stamp bin. And I'll show you what I got at the end of this video. I just wanted to share. I made these little bits of video, and so I wanted to share them. In the description, I'll link to videos I've made there before. I was impressed because everything was moved around since the last time I've been there. I mean, it had been probably at least a year, right? But the selection was still really amazing. People have been donating. The volunteers have been working. They had a lot of fun kits, small packages of stamps and paper to work with. Really fun stuff. It was just, I get a little overwhelmed. Those of you who watch my channel know I'm not the best shopper ever. I'm a pretty good buyer. I just go in there, grab what I want, panic, and leave. But it is really fun to look around and see. I had a non-crafter with me and she couldn't figure out what to do with some of the stuff. These are the items that I picked up. Let me tell you my ideas for using each one. I didn't pick up any stamps because, honestly, I like to buy my stamps loose if I can. There were a couple in the Stampin' Up! Boxes that I liked, but one stamp for $5, what am I going to do with the rest? And when you're thrift shopping like that, I didn't look at my stamps. I might already have one that says you're a star. I just couldn't remember, right? Okay, this is seam binding in a dark, it's called dark turquoise. I was looking for something that would go really well with the spring collections or colors that I'm likely to work in. There was a really dark, bright purple lace that I almost picked up, but there isn't purple in very many of our collections. I probably should have bought it for junk journals because I can control the colors in mixed media, which is another advantage to mixed media. If orange is your absolute favorite color, you're not going to get a lot of paper collections with it, but you can do it in mixed media. So anyway, I picked this one up. It has a little bit of a sheen to it because it's rayon, not the normal cotton. I haven't really found success with the really narrow seam binding ones. I don't know if that's what they're called, but the fold over ones. I like the flat ones like this. And I just use them like ribbon or anything else. So essentially 3 yards of ribbon in a color I like for $1. And I don't mind if in the package, I don't think this one is, but if in the package it's a little yellowed and old looking, totally fine with that. Here's another one. It's Flexi Lace. So the purple that they had was really wide, and I like this narrower stuff a little better. You could, if you're good at sewing, you could stitch it to the edge of a page and have it hang out. It's great for embellishment clusters, great for an accent or a border or decorating a tuck spot. And 3 yards is plenty. Keeps me entertained for a while. This one might be a little harder for me to use. It's not a flat one, but it's ruffled. It should be really nice for decorating the edge of a page. It's just my sewing is a little rusty, so I'm going to have to get better. But imagine that down the page of your, well, this is a rough looking journal, so maybe this isn't the best, but down the edge of your page. That's exactly what it was intended for. Well, they probably meant the bottom of pajamas or something, but I think I will really like that. Each of these, there was only one. It's thrift shopping. If there were more, I probably would have picked up more of these. Here's another category. In scrap PDX, there are sometimes giant drums. I mean, we're talking like 50-gallon or I don't know, whatever. They have mini bows or little things like this. I'm sure they're donated from some sort of manufacturing or thrift store of some sort. I thought these were cool because they're like felt on the back, satiny on the front. I love the polka dots. I'm not sure where I stand on the pink. The black and white for sure. The lavender, but I'd rather it was a darker purple. These might be good for something 4th of July-ish. I like my red a little more red, but, and then there's this fuchsia too. These would be cute as like an embellishment cluster. So imagine a bigger circle like this, and then maybe a sentiment on top of it or a stamp. Or this was the other idea I was thinking, like little page pulls. And of course you could create something like this, but for $1.50 to get a bunch of them, take that and staple that sucker on with your tiny attacher, or hand stitch it on. You could put them at the top. Super cute. Bunch of them for $1.50. Kind of wish I'd gotten more, maybe. I hadn't thought of the page pull idea at the time, and I just thought I'll use these for something. Okay, category of I'll use these for something. They had this giant tub. It was a handful. I have big hands, so I went kind of conservative. A handful of circles for 50 cents. I can die cut circles. But what I thought, and I was off a little, this circle punch that I have works really well. It's one I've had for years. A lot of my circle punches are from Goodwill or something, and they're not as good. I was thinking these would be nice to layer with, but they're not different enough. They will still add, they're thick, like a thin chipboard maybe. So they'll still add some dimension if I want to pop them up and I can have a little tiny border. But I was imagining something more like that, and a really easy way to, I could punch circles, stamp cute images on them, and pop out these cards really quick or embellishments. I'll still use them. It's just not how I imagined it. And stamps. The stamp bin I showed you, it's one of my favorite things about scrap PDX. The bin was a little lower, but there was a lot of variety in there. So I got some blue ones, different blues, and I picked out a couple of birds and got some flowers. So that was my big spree. I looked for paper and I didn't find any. I looked for 6x6 pads. They had some. They had maybe 4. 2 of them were Christmas that didn't speak to me, and I cannot, you're going to laugh because I'm sure I'll do it later in the year. I cannot buy Christmas or holiday. My bins are full. My paper selection there's tons of it. I cannot buy it. So I wouldn't have picked those up. And then there were 2 others that, one of them I already had. It was a Bow Bunny pad, and the other one didn't speak to me. I didn't see any. I scanned real quick in 12x12 for basic gray and embellishments, and didn't see any paper brands that I just had to have regardless of size. Didn't see any 8x8 pads. The paper itself was kind of thin. I don't know if they don't get a lot of paper donations, or maybe they price them really well so they turn over fast. Clearly, Wilson thinks it's time to go. Thanks so much for watching. I hope you're taking time for crafting and relaxing. Bye-bye.